Hey guys, I thought I would do a quick video today to give you a peek into one part of my journal making process. So today I am working on my personal junk journal just for a little while this morning. And this book here, Cutie Bear's Christmas, is the book cover that I'm using for my journal. And I've already done some of the process. So I'm going to kind of show you, we're just going to like jump in kind of in the middle of my process. But so I've already decided I have 4 signatures going into my journal and I have 8 scrapbook papers. So 2 scrapbook papers are in each signature. And I'm also using 4 ledgers in this journal. So I have 1 ledger in each signature. So I can show you really quickly. I've already matched up my scrapbook papers and my ledgers. So each signature, the pattern papers inside coordinate. And I'll give you a little peek inside, how this looks. Oops, oh, sorry, I bumped my camera. So these are all kind of matched up here. And then the next step in my process, which is what I really wanted to do this video about today, is showing you how I decide where I put the papers that I've pulled from my vintage books into the signatures. So this is another whole process here, is like where I decide what pages or what papers I want to use from my various vintage books. That's like a whole nother process, a whole nother video. And just as a quick little aside, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be covering in the online courses that I have coming out next year, where I'm going to have, when I do my little golden book how-to video, it's going to be like from very start to finish, A to Z, everything in between, showing you every process in a step-by-step fashion from start to finish. But this video is just like one tiny little piece jumping sort of in the middle, but I thought it might still be helpful, especially if you've made journals before, so you're kind of familiar with the process. This isn't the construction of the journal, but this is just kind of like a decision-making process that goes into one part of it. And I just thought it might be helpful to see how I do it. Everyone has a different way of doing things. So this is the point where I've already pulled all the papers that I want to use for my pages. And what I do is I have some doilies also that'll be sort of pages. So it's not too hard to find places for them inside. So I'm actually going to set those to the side and I will add those in later. But what I do first, after I do my scrapbook papers and put them into signatures and the ledger papers, is I turn to my vintage book pages. And I am going to pull out all the ones that have colored graphics on them, and I start with those. I find it's easier to start with all the color, and then I can fill in with papers that don't have as much color. So you can see like all of these have color in them, but I do have a few here that don't. So these 3 here don't have any. Just want to make sure, yeah, and the coloring book page of course does not. So I'm setting those to the side and I'm working with these first. So I'm going to count how many I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11. So it's not an even number, but it's almost 3 pages per signature. So one of them will just have 2, but the others will have 3. So that just kind of gives me a starting point, and lets me know I want to try to match up 3 of these pages for every signature. So this process is a little bit tedious, but what I do is I just go page by page. And I literally take one page and I look through all the signatures and figure out where I want to put it. And that may be more of a tedious kind of process than some people like to do. If you're familiar with my journals, you know that they're quite, I always say matchy-matchy. And that's just my style. It's just I just like my journals to have a lot of cohesion in like the colors and that kind of thing as you look through the journal. And some people like a more eclectic feel, not so matchy-matchy, but you know, that's just how I like to do it. And there is no right or wrong way. I always like to say that. There are no rules. There's no right or wrong way to do them. But that's what's awesome about all the different journal makers out there, is everyone has their own kind of take on things. And I like to see, you know, different styles. So, and I like to see how other people do theirs. And I thought it might be helpful if I share how I do mine. So, so what I do, and you can see this is already folded. I already decided this was going to be my first page. And then I decided maybe I should do a quick little video. And one other thing, and I'm going to cover this at another point, but I've already decided the order that my signatures will go, and this is going to be my first one. And I'm going to do another video later down the road to share how I decide like the spine paper and the signature papers and like the scrapbook papers, and then what order they go in. So I've already decided this is going to be the first signature, and you will be able to see this paper here when you open the book. So this is my first signature. So I already decided I'm going to put him on the front just because it's the title page of the book. I don't always do that, but I liked it for this particular journal. And all the colors I thought looked great with this scrapbook paper and with the front cover. So I've already decided that one. Let me just put the journal to the side. So then next I have this card. So this card is going to be a page inside the journal. And like I said, I just look through each signature and kind of see where things might look good. Like that's a lot of red next to each other. And what I do is I'm looking at the colors in the facing pages. And that's always my starting point. Color is always my starting point. But there may be some kind of elements to some kind of graphic on the paper that I'm trying to kind of find a place for that might also dictate where I put it. But for right now, I'm looking at the color, and that's definitely too much red. And same with that, just not super crazy about that or that. So let's see, he could go on the outside. And right now I'm actually kind of looking on the insides of the signatures to start with. I can definitely put pages, and I will put pages on the outsides of the signatures, but just to kind of give myself a like a pattern sort of to follow. I find that's really helpful to organize your thinking when you're doing this kind of thing, is to kind of start with a plan. And you can always switch things up. So like, for example, when I'm saying a plan, like I'm trying to fill the insides of the signatures first, not because that's the right way to do it or the best way to do it, but it's just a way to do it. And it's a way to kind of keep yourself organized and not get overwhelmed with too many choices. I hope that makes sense. So right now I'm not really looking at putting any of these papers on the outsides. I will probably change that as I go along, but this is a great starting point and keeps it from being too overwhelming. So this one here, again, it's a lot of red. Not crazy about that, but I do like this here. So I'll tell you why I like this here. This kind of gives you a little bit of a visual break between the reds, but I do like how it does pick up the red there. And the background images on this have a lot of this color that's like a tannish gold in the candy canes and in these snowflakes, and that picks up the background color on this pattern paper here, and I really like that. So I think I like that a lot. Let me just take a peek, and I will kind of just remember that and then look and see. That's okay, but like I said, these like more like tan gold colors I don't like as well with this like stark white in the white of that signature. And yeah, that's definitely too much red. So I will look at both parts, the first signature and then on the inside also. And I like that okay. I like how it picks up the reds in that picture and this one too, but I just like this one the best. This one just really works. And I like how it's a Santa's workshop sort of picture there on the scrapbook paper. And then there's a Santa that kind of like oversees the workshop. So that kind of works for me on that one. So I've got these 2 pages. He's not going to stay. Done. And then I'll just pick up the next one. And this one's a little different because it's connected. It's not just a single sheet, so it will wrap around, or it could go in the center of one of the signatures. So let's see, we've done that one. Let me see what's on the inside here. There's a lot of pink in this particular stories illustrations, and this journal doesn't have a lot of pink, but I think there is, I remember, a scrapbook paper that has a little bit of pink in it in the check. So let me find that. This one. So this check here, this part of the check is pink. So I really like the way that picks up the pink in this story illustrations. So I'm going to leave that one right there. So I just kind of go through, and like I said, I do this page by page, and I don't commit to any of them. So like, for example, like this paper, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this like facing this way, where I would like wrap part of that around the edge of the page, or if I'm going to turn it. And I won't do that until I've found a place for all of the pages. I just kind of set them inside, and when I'm finished putting all of the papers in like that, then I'll go in and decide if I want to keep them there or if I want to move them around and try them in another spot. And, you know, it's not until like I'm ready to sew that I will go ahead and like fold the pages and wrap them around the signature, just in case I want to change my mind. So for this one, I don't like this as much because the background of this paper is darker, like that beige color, and this typewriter paper here and the images on the scrapbook paper are like stark white. So, and I know I have some scrapbook papers that have more of this off-white background, so I am going to try to find that first and look at that first. So let's see. I like the way this looks for a couple of reasons. The red in the candles picks up the red here, obviously, and the design of her dress, the checks, mimics the checks over here. And that looks really nice, red and green together without there being too much of one color. Like, for example, if this dress was against a background that had a lot of green in it, which, let's see, like just as an example, like this. That looks okay, especially because you can see this red check and that looks nice, but this is a lot of green together, so I want to see if there's some other better options. Let's see, what was on inside this one? Yeah, I like that too. So you've got a lot of red here with a little bit here, and the green in her dress picks up the green in the holly leaves on this paper. Oh, and the other thing I didn't even think about was the other side of the paper. So when you turn the page, whether you have it going this way and it opens like this, or you have it going this way, you're going to see the illustrations on the other side. And if I can, I like to make sure that those coordinate also, and with the paper that you can see on this side. And I like how the color of the bird mimics the darker color in their dresses, and I really like the way that looks. So that is definitely an option for that one, and that I don't care for because it's just too much green and the patterns are too similar. So probably I'll put it on there. And I did like that also, except the squares on this paper are really white, and maybe I don't like that as well with the background of that paper. So I think, yeah, I'm going to go with this one here. So this is what I do. And I just kind of go by page, and I'm just going to sit this right inside of here. And I know that one has 2, so I'm probably going to put 2 inside each one, and then I'll go back and fill in some more. So this one could use another one. And then I just take the next page. So let's see what's on the back of that one. So that one has a lot of blue, and this side has red and green on it. So that one already has a page. And I like that. So I really love these 2 shades of green are like a perfect match. So I really like that. And the other side has a lot of blue, and obviously blue and green go together, but it's not picking up any of that exact color, which is not a deal breaker, but I might see if there's another option that has more blue in it. But this would work. And there's a little bit of green on that side that matches that there. So that is definitely a possibility. But let me see what else I have here. Yep, I like that. So if I have that turned here, you can see, let's see, pull this over here. This inside paper is going to have to be trimmed. See how it's hanging over the side. But for now, that's okay. And yeah, that would look nice there. And I think I will like this better here because there's so much blue in this background, and it picks up the blue in this pattern paper right there really nicely. So that is where I think I would put this paper. So that's in that one. And this is also another page from that book. And I know right off the bat where I think I might want to put that. And I think, I'm trying to remember what signature it was in. The one that had the Santa's Toy Shop paper, this one. So obviously this with Santa's Helpers Club, it reminds me of the Toy Shop paper. And these colors look great together because the backgrounds are the same tone. And it's got toys on it and a lot of the same colors. You can see the little doll there. There's a doll in this picture. And the red picks up the red over here. So if I kind of do him like this, because it's got like the illustration right at the top, I will probably fold this around. And then when this opens, I like that too. And I like how there's checks in his shirt, and that picks up the checks in that paper. And then the other side, the colors look great. So I think I will put that paper in this signature. And then let's see, sometimes I will just look through the papers and kind of see what I think might be easiest to work with next. And then I work with the like harder to match up papers last. And I find, for one thing, that kind of I've already sort of narrowed down my options, so it's not so overwhelming. But I will probably end up moving things around, and I usually do, and that's okay. I'm thinking this one's going to be tougher to match in this book because there is quite a bit of pink in that one and this one, but I really love these pages. And I've already pulled all the papers for the 10 journals I'm making for my November 22nd sale. So these are kind of what's left. I'm just using what's left in my books. But I still really like all these papers. So this one, just kind of get an idea. I'm thinking off the top of my head, something with a lot of green to pick up all the greenery here. And I think that would look nice with this kind of gold background too. So this one already has 2 in it anyway. But this page, because it's really big, really long, I may use this on the inside of one of the signatures because I can fold up the edges. Not that you can't fold up the edges, you know, and do sort of like a fold out in other places, but that works really well in a center of a signature. So that's just a topic for a whole nother time. I don't want to get off topic here. I'm just trying to share my process for matching up the colors, really. So I like that with the greens there. And then the back side here, that looks nice. The green in her outfit. Looks really nice with that green there. So I definitely think that's an option with the holly paper. But I wanted to see that green plaid. Let's see, where is that one at? You think I would remember where the papers were at this point, and I've already forgotten. Let's see. No, not that one, I don't think. It's in this one. Yes. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I really like this paper together. I think the blue in this page here, I'm sorry, the blue and the green and this gold, I think look really nice because of the blue and green in that plaid. So I'm thinking I might put that one there. So I will just kind of sit it in here. Like I said, I'm not folding anything or trimming anything yet. I am just kind of matching up colors, and I hope that gives you an idea of my process. And I don't want to go through every single sheet in here. I think that probably gives you an idea of how I do it. And yeah, just wanted to kind of share that little glimpse into part of my process. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section below. And if you want to learn more about my process and eventually, you know, be the first to hear about my online courses that'll be coming out next year, join my Facebook group. And I would love to have you there. And we're doing a lot of fun stuff over there. So you can get to that Facebook group through the link in my bio or on Instagram, or you can, I put a link below in the description box to the group, or you can go to Facebook directly and just type in Kitty Witty Junk Journalers. I would love to have you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon.